Welcome back to another episode of That Mortgage Show. It is 420. We just saw mortgage rates hit a 4-week low recently, getting to the low sixes, 6.3, 6.2 if you're lucky, depending who you are, depending who you ask. Rates were as high as 6.75. When interest rates drop, we are seeing mortgage applications spike. There's a lot of buyers sitting around waiting for permission to get into the market. They want to jump in and they want to jump on houses. It's very competitive. At the same time, listings are up. uh, Time on market are up. There's more houses on the market. They're sitting for longer. About 40% of those transactions to buy a house include some sort of seller concession, whether it's a reduction of price or seller paid closing costs. I can tell you, in a practical sense, I would say about 1/3 of the loans that I have in have seller paid concessions for my buyers. It is definitely a market to market is definitely something that you want to look at market to market. It's not an exact science. You can't guarantee these things, whether it's Palm Beach, Florida, or Baltimore City, Maryland. You're going to see different things happening in different markets. But overall, nationwide, 40% of sellers are expecting to give concessions when they sell their home. Mortgage rates are doing okay today. They're not getting beat down too bad. There was a deterioration in the peace talks in Iran, which every time that those talks do not go positive, we see the 10-year Treasury bond jump a little bit. We see oil prices jump a little bit, neither of which are good for mortgage rates. Mortgage rates are holding steady today, still about 6.3%, which is great given some bad news. That kind of tells me that maybe we're in a strong position for rates to stay at this 6.3% range, stay under 6.5%, and hopefully when things ease in Iran, we'll see rates dip down low sixes, below six, hopefully. Hopefully. Now, if you're a buyer and you think that you're going to wait and time the market perfectly and you're going to get a 6% and you're going to get the house you want, I would say that you're sorely mistaken and you need to come up with a new plan. If you want to buy a house in the next 12 years, in the next 12 months, 15 months, 2 years, and if the right home came on the market tomorrow, you'd buy it, you need to be ready and you need to accept the rates where they are, because people that are in the market and they're active, they're having trouble getting the houses that they want. A home that's move-in ready, a home that is um, turnkey, as they say, that checks people's boxes, those homes are going fast. They're going fast in all the markets that I'm in. Maryland, Virginia, Carolinas, Georgia, Florida. Those houses, if they're decent, they're gonna go quick. So thinking that you're gonna sit around and wait on rates and the housing market isn't going to be tough is just setting yourself up for failure. Everybody wants the perfect scenario, and it just doesn't really happen. So keep an eye on things. If you are in the market to buy, stay engaged. Get a couple of trusted advisors, mortgage lender, real estate agent that you trust, and they'll take good care of you. So first things first, I want to show you that 10-year that I just talked about. You can see here it's rated at 4.25. It's in the green, so it's the yield is um, up from up modestly from last week. It was about 4.22, I think, was the lowest point it was at. But if you're looking for a canary in the coal mine, if you're in the market and you're wondering about rates, this is a great indicator. This is my favorite indicator. You come in here, if it's up for the day, you can expect mortgage rates to be the same or worse than you had last heard. If it's down for the day, expect mortgage rates to get a little bit better. When this goes down modestly, 4.25, 4.2499, that's not going to move the needle much. You want to look for this to get into the 4.1 range, 4.19, 4.18, 4.15. We'll see some serious rate improvements if this gets to 4.1. If it gets below 4, we're talking rates below 6. Okay? If this goes up 4.3, 4.4, rates are going to be pushing back into the high sixes. So again, it's not an exact science, but if you're in the market and you're looking to buy or refinance a house and you kind of want an idea of what's going on day to day, this is a great indicator. 10-year Treasury yield, 4.25 is where it's at today. Take a quick look at the reported mortgage rates on Mortgage News Daily. You gotta take these with a grain of salt. Depends who you are. Depends what your qualifying factors are. Credit score, down payment. These are average offered rates. They take the best case scenario, 30% down, first time home buyers, 800 credit score, and they report those. So that's what you're seeing here. 6.3% for 30-year fixed, 15 years 591. Not a big difference. 30-year jumbo 652. I think that's high. I think that I can do better than that for a jumbo, but there's your ARM rate. There's your FHA rates for 598, VA 589. So conventional or FHA and VA government loans below 6, conventional loans 30-year fixed at 6.3%. It's a good place to start. These rates are a good place to start. You're not going to get the full picture on sites like this, but there you go. There you have it, 6.3. With me, if you're 20% down, 800 credit score, 750 credit score, you're probably looking at 6.375, no points. If you want to pay a point, maybe you get down to 6 and an 8, 6.00, maybe. FHA, you're probably looking at 5.875. VA, same rate, 5.875. So I'm not too far off of what you're seeing there. But again, these are all just based on 800 credit scores, best case scenario. So be careful if you're shopping and you're looking at the mortgage rates that are being publicized online, because it's just very hard to get a full picture of what's going on. Wrap up by taking a look at a quick article on Zillow. Zillow surveyed 11,200 buyers and sellers to find out how they felt about researching, hiring, and working with agents. First thing I want to look at is the communication. So how do buyers and sellers like to communicate? Specifically in this case, the buyers. So 53% of buyers who worked with an agent preferred to text or use a messaging app than speak on the phone. When you add in buyers who like to send emails, 2/3 of buyers preferred text and email over phone calls. Generationally, not much different. Gen Z leads the way. About 60% of Gen Z said they preferred to text. 18 to 29. Not a ton of buyers in that poll. Boomers, they still prefer the phone over texting, but not by a wide margin. 42% of boomers said that they preferred text over phone call. 46 prefer the phone calls. Now here's one about the here. So that's the buyers and how they like to communicate. Typically text messages. I think everybody would find that's not shocking. Everybody likes to text. Nobody likes to make phone calls. It's tough to get your friends on the phone, let alone a client. So how many agents are getting contacted? Well, they zero in on sellers here. Nearly all sellers, 93%, work with an agent at some point in their home sale journey. Sellers who worked with an agent were more likely to hire the first person they contacted, 59%, compared to buyers, 47%. So 59% of sellers worked with the first agent that they talked to, and 47% of buyers work with the first agent. So it's pretty important to be that first agent. If you're working leads, if you are setting appointments, it's important. Get in that door. Put your foot in that door. Get on the phone. Don't get on the phone. Send a text message, but get that appointment set. The most drastic stat here is that first-time sellers, 64% of first-time sellers used the first agent that they talked to. Another factor could be first impressions. While buyers agents may have a harder time differentiating themselves early on, listing agents are able to seal the deal during the first appointment with a convincing pricing strategy. So we're going to take a look at the stats here. 22% of repeat sellers talk to 3 or more agents before hiring one. 25% of repeat sellers talk to 2 or more agents. And 53% of sellers only talk to 1 agent and they use the first agent. And it's more drastic with first timers again. 64% of first time home sellers use the first agent that they talk to. So it's pretty important to be the first person. I think it might be the most important thing. Be the first person talking to these people. And I'm sure it's the same on the mortgage side of things. So definitely important to be the first person talking to these folks. That's it for today. Have a great one. If you have any mortgage questions, if you need help talking about mortgage rates, program processes, structuring your deal, structuring your offer, crunching numbers, please let me know. Please get in touch with me. You can email me, call me. Thank you, and goodbye.